I recently finished Frieren Beyond's Journey End, and it quickly became one of my favorite animes of 2024. The animation, the battle scenes, and the interaction between Stark and Fern are adorable, but that's not the main reason why I love this series. I tried to convince my brother to watch it, and he quickly quit after a couple episodes, saying it was too slow. I get it though. We live in a culture that craves constant new information. Nowadays, staying focused for 10 minutes can prove to be difficult. Frieren provides something similar to the viral trend of raw dogging flights. Believe me, it's not what you're thinking. Google it if you're curious. Essentially, Frieren slows down the relentless pace of information and encourages the viewers to sit down and ponder one single idea. What if our life was infinite? What if we lived forever? We explore this possibility through the life of Frieren, an elf of near eternal lifespan, as she learns from the lives around her and how she evolves through those relationships. Frieren has the luxury to slowly learn these lessons, but in comparison to our lives, it quickly prompts the viewers to quickly reflect upon our lives and how we should live it, especially since we're mere mortals only have about 80 years of lifespan. Heads up, there's going to be a lot of spoilers ahead, so if you haven't finished the series, I would pause this video and come back to it later. Throughout this video, I'll go over 3 impactful relationships that significantly altered Frieren's life. Flem, her master, Himmel the hero, and Fern, her disciple. But first, we have to talk about what Frieren was like at the beginning of the show. After Flem, Frieren's master, passed away, Seri took a walk with Frieren. They talk about Flem, who had achieved so much in her short human life. Humans have to make quick decisions, while elves with their near eternal lifespan can wait centuries. Frieren shared this mindset. A 10-year journey to defeat the Demon Lord felt like another day to her, but for her companions, it was a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Another example is on their way back from victory. Frieren was surprised when Himmel was already thinking about his future plans. He said he still had his whole life ahead of him. During their celebration, Eisen suggested Frieren to take on a disciple while she continued her journey, but she hesitated. To her, humans would perish quickly, making it seem not worthwhile. Frieren's first significant change came from her promise to show her former party the best location to see this rare meteor shower. Shortly after keeping her promise, Himmel passed away. During his burial, Frieren thought, "We only traveled for a mere 10 years. Why didn't I try to get to know Himmel better?" This echoed her master's warning, "Someday, you'll make a terrible mistake and wish you'd gotten to know people better." Throughout the show, Frieren got to know Himmel and Flem better by recalling moments spent with them. By piecing together their present situation with those memories, she understood the intentions behind their words. We see that this change wasn't just an internal struggle, but one that flowed from the inside out. This idea is exemplified through Frieren's interaction with her disciple Fern. An obvious example is how Frieren finally accepted a disciple, a human no less. The master-disciple relationship mirrors her relationship with both Flem and Himmel. Flem, the greatest magician in the world, made magic accessible to all. No one would have thought her favorite spell was one that conjures a field of flowers, a spell passed down from her parents. This love for magic was passed down from Flem to her disciple Frieren, who sought out grimoires that interested her, not just what was considered top tier by others. In her mind, she had her own tier list of magical spells, and her master's favorite spell was one of them. Himmel wouldn't have had a long-lasting impression on Frieren if she hadn't cast the Field of Flowers during their first encounter. Coincidentally, this was the reason Himmel chose Frieren to be part of his party. Frieren passed his love of magic to Fern, evident when Fern chose a spell that cleans and freshens laundry out of all the spells Seri had at her disposal. Flem's love for magic impacted Frieren, which in turn impacted Himmel. Himmel's life impacted Frieren to take Fern as a disciple, passing down this love of magic to Fern. You see where I'm going at with this, right? It started with one person and then passed down through generations. After thousands of years, people may forget who originally started this chain, but the love for magic will continue through generations. And this is the point. Whether you live to eternity or a short while, everyone can live a full life by having a positive impact on the people around us. We pass on the good so the next generation can do the same. The following scenes sum up this idea. In episode 28, Werble says this, Frieren, you should treasure the encounters that you have. Death isn't the only goodbye in this life. But I guess you already know that. In episode 22, Himo explains why he wants to be remembered. Frieren asks, why do you help people? Himo says, maybe it's for myself. Maybe it's because I want people to remember me. To live is to be known and remembered by others. Frieren replied, what should I do to be remembered? Himo responded, change someone's life, even just in a small way. That's probably enough. This eternal impact is coined Himo logic in the mainstream Japanese culture. There's a funny story between a parent and her child. The elementary school child did not want to do their homework, and the parent, in exasperation, said this is what Himo would have done. The kid agreed and then did the homework. What other eternal impacts have you noticed throughout the show? Have your life perspective changed because of Frieren? Let us know in the comments below.